Hey everybody, Chandler and
Hello.
Stephley. Anyway, so tonight I wanted to talk about a new project that we're working on. It's called Stori Space. That's an actual website if you want to check it out and get more info. But the cool thing I've noticed about it, I don't think that I realized until we actually launched and started collecting stories, and what it is it's a platform for storytellers to be able to tell their story, both authors, filmmakers, musicians, people who have a fictional story, a non-fictional story. But the idea behind the platform was to allow people to be able to tell their stories in an audio-based format. And so I did a call and asked people, like, hey, I'm looking for people who want to tell their story, and this is what I want. And pretty much I wanted to allow people to be creative enough to tell their own story and not have me interfere with the direction of it. But what I noticed and what was really interesting to me was I got a lot of people who approached me about telling their story as part of their healing process and part of the process of helping them get past traumatic events in the past that they couldn't or haven't talked about with anybody, and things that they could use this as an opportunity to tell their story and to get it out there and finally help themselves heal and get out of their own head and what they were thinking about. And so I realized we're creating, it's not so much a project, it's a movement around the ability to tell your story. And if it's something that's powerful, emotional, and impactful, and something that you've been holding in for a long period of time, it really allows you to tell that and get that out there and actually display it so you don't have it just stuck in your own head anymore. And so the moral of the story is, if you've got something in your own head that you've been thinking about and that you can't tell anybody, or you feel like you can't tell anybody, the most therapeutic thing you can do and the most therapeutic aspect of your life to this point would be to tell that story to somebody, anybody who will listen, or just get it out there, even if you just record it and let people listen to it. But I think it's really therapeutic to tell that story, to let it out there and to stop holding it in. I think the biggest things that we fail on and that make us freak out and really hold things deep is we don't tell that story, and we don't let our emotions out. We don't let anyone know what we're thinking or feeling. If you want to tell your story on our platform, just fill out the little form that I put in the link in the description, and you can tell your story on our platform. We're looking for people from all walks of life, fiction, nonfiction, authors, filmmakers, all of those things. But I think it's, even if you don't tell it on ours, I think you have a story to tell and you haven't told anybody and it's causing pain or emotional trauma, get out there and tell it. You don't have to tell it to the public. You can tell it to a close friend, you can tell it to a doctor, you can tell it to a loved one, but really get out there and try to tell that story. The healing process and the therapeutic aspect behind it is huge. I hope you guys have a great night. I will see you later. See ya.